All right, welcome back to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I am your host, David Lee. And welcome back indeed, seeing the fact that I was just on the wrestling channel just a little while ago, and now I'm here on the comic book channel. Now, why am I here live streaming today? Well, very big week in terms of comic books. It is comic book week because not only do we have the Avengers Infinity War, but also coming up, not only was that this weekend. Hey, what's up, Arthur? Yeah, very long time indeed. But also wanted to make sure everyone remembers that Free Comic Book Day is definitely coming up in May, which is not too far from now. So also want to remind everyone that, hey, what up? Thank you guys for coming out. One thumbs up already. Thank you so much. Wow, great knowing that you guys are coming out here. I was worried that, people might not show up, but I'm glad to see that we got some people here already. So, Arthur, hello, welcome. All right, welcome. So today what we're going to do now, you saw a little while ago, I launched the Avengers Infinity War spoiler-free review. So I'm coming on here, and those of you who are familiar with this channel from my wrestling channel know that there was a wrestling event that came on a little bit earlier. So that has just wrapped up. I just finished watching that, so I decided to come on and do the review for the Avengers Infinity War that I just saw. So any questions or anything like that, or anything you think to talk about, let's totally talk about that. Train, what's up, Oliver Train? Welcome. Yeah, so I had an early morning live stream. Braun wins as I predicted, Nathan Norman. Yes, so I've only got one right. Watch the match. Okay, yeah, and we could totally talk about the Greatest Royal Rumble 2 on here. Why not? I'm not opposed to that. So I had an earlier live stream on the wrestling channel very early in the morning, just because I wanted to get ahead of the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view that just finished up, because that conflicted with the normal time. So, but also I wanted to get here on the comic book channel to talk about the Avengers, but this time with spoilers, so we can talk about anything for those of you who've seen it, or if you have any questions, or if you don't mind spoilers, we'll talk about that here, and we could also talk about everything else. Did you like the green belt? No, I like the gold design, but I don't like the green color. And I'm not opposed to green, but that shade of green was bizarre. Yeah, and he did the Samoan drop, so good for him. Oh, might as well give me all the spoilers you got, because I'm not going to say. You're not going to see it, Arthur. Oh, wow. All right, well, thank you for the one thumbs up already, and thank you guys for coming out. So we're going to do that. And also, so even if people who don't get to check this out live, at least they can watch it and hear my spoiler-filled review with that. I tell what? You tell what? What do you tell, Oliver? It reminded me of Big Green Hogan one. Yeah, it was an odd choice, but because the trophy and the title belt, is he going to defend it? It's one day with a tag strap, and now the Greatest Royal Rumble Championship. It's very weird that those are the belts he's winning. Strowman. Yeah, so it's a thing. 2 thumbs up, thank you. Some things, I will admit, Michael Cole is kind of cracking me up. I was kind of not hating his commentary, especially when he yelled at everyone for knowing that it was Fandango coming down to the ring. They're like, how do you know that? He's psychic, and he yelled at him because I read it off the screen. Michael Cole was actually doing all right by me today, surprisingly. Poor Daniel Bryan having to go, what, his chest and everything like that, man, he got beat up. That was brutal. He's worried about the head, but he said, fine, I'm just going to take the bumps on the chest. That's how he fixed that one. But I kind of figured. I was glad the news day Iron Man, and it seemed like now if someone was going to get the record, of course, when you have 50 men, that seems to be the best way to get someone to have the record. Like when they had the 40-man Rumble and nobody, that's the best opportunity to get someone to win, or break the record for the endurance. So why not? And when you have that, I think that's good. And Daniel Bryan is definitely the best guy they could have picked to do that this year or in this event. Titus botch. Yeah, that. See, I wasn't 100% sure if that was a botch. I think it is. But remember, Titus also has one of the shortest Royal Rumble times of all time. He is tied, I believe. So I thought this was a way for them to just match that. He's just he's just a Royal Rumble epic fail waiting to happen, and it's just their thing. So I wasn't 100% sure if that was on purpose or not. The Prince, he raptured the special though. Apparently D. Bry got rope burn. That's That's more than rope burn. I mean, it's gnarly looking rope burn if it is just plain rope burn. But okay, nobody is doing that on purpose. Jennifer Lawrence would. Jennifer Lawrence would. And speaking of which, I have no problem talking about the Greatest Royal Rumble, but let's get the Avengers thing. Let's start talking about the movie real quick, just in case anybody is tuning in there after the fact or later on they want to hear it. Let's totally talk about it. So here's the thing about the Avengers movie. I really liked it, as my spoiler-free review stated. So, and we'll talk about the if you want to talk about the wrestling later on, we'll totally get into that. But for right now, so the spoiler-filled review for the Avengers Infinity War. Well, I said it in the spoiler-free review that I really liked it. There were a lot of cool things that happened in this one that really surprised me. So, a couple of things. Number one of the big reveals was Red Skull was in it, looking like Skeletor, which was awesome. But unfortunately, not Hugo Weaving. But still, it was weird that he didn't really serve a purpose. He was just there. It's like they held off all this time before showing the Red Skull again, and he's just there. And it was like, okay, why for are you here, Red Skull? D-Bry looked like he went one-on-one with he looked like he went one-on-one with a meat grinder. But yeah, so Red Skull was showing up. So that was one thing that I didn't understand. I marked out like anybody else when Red Skull showed up, but I didn't understand why he was there and where he has this new Dementor superpowers from. But, it was still cool. Another thing, no Hawkeye whatsoever. No Ant-Man. I didn't think he would be, so I wasn't all that disappointed with that. But no Hawkeye. There were pictures of Hawkeye on set. How did Hawkeye not show up? They made a big deal out of it, him not showing up, and people were talking about, where's Hawkeye? Where's Hawkeye? And he was legit not there. The end credit scene, I didn't necessarily need. Great Captain Marvel cameo, or tease to Captain Marvel. It was really awesome that we got Nick Fury back, and haven't seen him in a while. And it seems like he's back working for S.H.I.E.L.D. again, or doing whatever, because he's not, in hiding or whatever. But there was no context to that, Dave. They have to leave something for part 2. Yeah, I know, but they tease you so much with the shots of Hawkeye and teasing the idea that he is in the movie. They're just not showing him in the trailers. That was the weird part. They baited you to the idea. And I do feel this movie probably had a lot of deleted scenes. We were going up into the big leagues. Nice. So that's that. Also, another thing that I thought was interesting about it was, now, my spoiler-free review, I leave it very ambiguous whether people die or not. But yeah, there were some deaths, which I was surprised by. Talking about soccer, I think. Right? But so we have that. So there were a couple of deaths, and the first one, I was told that an Avenger died right off the bat from a review or an interview. I heard there was a major Avenger death right in the beginning. I forgot how it was worded, but it was like a long. We're coming for USA Hockey. All right, bring it on, train. Good idea. Go for that USA Hockey. Now, here's the thing. So I was told about a major Avenger death in the very beginning of the movie to kickstart the movie. And I thought that meant one of the Avengers. Turns out it's Loki. And, all right, good. Fitting in for Loki. Long overdue. I'm not, and as I said in the other review, I'm not one of those guys who complain that the MCU no one dies. I don't complain that no one dies in Spielberg movies. It's fine. I'd rather nobody die than having non-canon deaths that get undone and retconned, or people come back, the comic book death stereotype. I rather you have just everyone stay alive than have that trope. I kind of like the way it's done in the sense where, at least for a period of time, where I wasn't the biggest Ultimate Comics fan, where in Ultimates death was a little more permanent. They tend not to do the comic book death thing, which was fine by me. No, I won't, Train. I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm not a hockey guy, so it won't affect me whatsoever. I know, but I tell you, this What Culture just tweeted Titus World Slide. That's pretty good. Okay, so back to the Avengers. All right, this is Marvel and the Infinity Gems. One is... Oh, yeah, yes, we will definitely get to the ending, because I do want to save that as a separate category. Just talking about the end. Okay, so the thing is, Loki died right off the bat. Now, I thought before hearing that, I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be Thor, really, because you didn't really see Thor in any trailer material other than, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. So I thought there was a chance Thor might have gone off, like, died in the beginning. You know, when they say one of the Avengers, there was also a possibility of Hawkeye or anybody like that. Hang tight 1 second. Okay, so there was also the possibility of other characters, too. But, yeah, I kind of almost thought it might have been Thor. Yeah, but they really show him, and like, Thanos had his hands on him, so it's not like that trick. There is that trick Loki does where, are you ever not going to fall for that? But Loki definitely had his hands on him. He definitely felt them, and he was definitely there after Thanos. He was definitely lying there, and he gave up the gem, and it was kind of a heroic thing. So they finally got those two guys, Thor and Loki, back on the same page, and it was the way to go. It kind of had to. I really thought it was going to be a lot sooner, and I thought they were going to bring up the fact that like the other said that if you fail, you will long for something as sweet as pain. And I thought that was going to be kind of the deal. Like, Thanos did mention his failure, but I thought he was going to say something along the lines of, yeah, give me the Tesseract. Well, it's about time. Guess what? Now your usefulness is over. And I thought he was going to completely just kill him right off the bat. Like, he was just going to, I thought it was going to be a little more brutal. I didn't expect Loki to actually try to defeat him and get that in. So it was surprisingly more heroic of an end for Loki than I thought he was getting. Yes, no, Stormbreaker. Yeah, no, that's the look. I believe that was the look they were going for, Nathan Norman. I think that was the whole goal all along. I don't like the ringtone. Okay. So anyway, turning the phone on silent then, since it just in case it happens again. Got some other things to working on tonight. I'm having a very busy week. Okay, so on top of that, so that was up. The next death came, as far as I know, as if I'm remembering correctly, in the middle of the movie was Gamora. I was surprised by that. I really didn't think Gamora was going to die. Now, as we saw, maybe there's going to be a way that she isn't, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is still happening down at... Nice, Nathan. Because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is still happening down the line. That's still going to happen. And I can't imagine Guardians of the Galaxy without Gamora. And so, like, that had to... So, I mean, I thought it was kind of weird how she was laughing, like, oh, you have to kill someone you love in order to get the soul gem. And she's cracking up, going, well, what you gonna do now? Nothing you love, huh? Like, she really didn't put that together. It's like, man, you're not bright. Now, Elmer from the Monday Night Wrong, for those of you guys who know, we saw the movie together, and he was saying how, they closed up the storyline with Star-Lord pretty good. Peter Quill and everything, they ended it. So, like, he thinks there's nowhere else to go for it. But I disagree. First of all, I thought that they could have brought it into a different light with what they have to do, because I can't imagine Guardians without her. I really can't. So Volume 3, they want it to be the final. I understand that, but I can't see anything. I can't see it going any other way. I do want to see it. It's so annoying. Yeah. That's another thing. Rocket Raccoon, like at the very end of the movie, I'll talk about the end a little bit in a little bit. But the very end of the movie where he was like pining for Groot, Rocket had no. Like, Bradley Cooper, I think, is a great actor. It's just, like, I don't know. The performance seemed kind of like, Like, I was surprised by it. Rocket Raccoon in the comic books I don't like, but I really do like Bradley Cooper, so that kind of helps. But in the comics, I always thought Rocket Raccoon was a dumb character. Nathan, why so... Jeez. You didn't like Black Panther? Black Panther was a really good movie. That is my tag on several sites. Okay, so yeah, the Gamora was pretty substantial, and it revealed why the Soul Stone was a big secret. Now everyone was thinking it was in Wakanda, or that Adam Warlock was going to be involved, or Hemdall, or this, that, or the other thing. Turns out, nope. It was just a plot point. It was just the thing that we're going to get at. Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and others are coming part 2. Yeah, but still, like, I mean, I'm not complaining. I didn't need Hawkeye in this movie. It's just they teased it pretty good. Fooled you. I didn't think Ant-Man, but a Hawkeye, they definitely made it seem like he was going to be in this movie. But from the stuff we saw with Ant-Man for the trailer for Ant-Man and Wasp, I feel like it doesn't fit in the storyline anyway. So I think it's all right that we didn't get anything out of here. That's one thing. I also noted that they seem to have minorly corrected the Spider-Man Homecoming issue of 8 years later, where Tony Stark said 6 years ago, like, let you know the time frame is real. It was also nice to see Gwyneth Paltrow again. I know we saw her in Homecoming, but it's good that they're keeping that going. And that's one thing for sure. I thought Iron Man or Captain America were going to die in this movie. I didn't want them to, but I really thought Iron Man was going to die. That one shot in the trailer we've been seeing where he's holding his hand like this in the sunny sun, I thought something's going to happen where he was sacrificing himself, especially when they had that baby talk with not baby talk like baby talk, but talking about having a baby with Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, I thought they were just signaling to you that this is the thing, getting really, that typical movie trope of, hey, let's get all sweet and have a happy moment just to get rid of one of the characters, which was like a common theme because they did the same thing with Gamora and Star-Lord, where they finally admitted that they loved each other just to kill her off. Star-Lord gets to pull the trigger and actually commit to his promise, which was somewhat surprising, and turns out it's just bubbles. And then also Vision and Scarlet Witch, so they did that a lot. I loved Homecoming. Taking bets for Cap getting off. Well, I thought one of them was going in part one. Like, I really did. Also, another thing about it now, so I thought one of them was going, and so I thought one of them were going for sure. Like, I thought when Thanos punches Cap in the face, I thought that was it, and it turns out it wasn't. No Hulk, and that Hulk shot in the trailer of slow running in Wakanda. Fake this out. Okay, so let's finally start talking about this ending. I might go back to some other things if you guys want to talk about it. Let's totally go back to the ending. Let's finally move on to the ending. So, in the ending, I did not like that Scarlet Witch can destroy an Infinity Stone. I ain't down with that. That's messed up. I don't care. I don't care how powerful they say she is. She shouldn't be able to destroy one of the cosmic stones that is part of the fabric of the universe. Nah. I did think it was clever how Thanos used the time thing to turn back. Doctor Strange, I thought got a fair amount of play too, by the way. I actually liked a lot of Doctor Strange's stuff. Anyone see Jenna? Nope, don't see her here. Duchess, but hey, thank you, welcome here. Duchess, cool. Duchess of Hamilton. Don't know where Hamilton is, but awesome. And thank you for being here. And thank you for the 2 thumbs up so far, and we lost somebody. Okay, anyway. I didn't like that she could destroy an Infinity Stone. That was kind of to me. But what I did, and by the way, Josh Brolin's performance, I gotta admit, I was skeptical at first why they casted him, just because I wasn't sure that they needed it to be him. But I'm glad that we got it because I thought he did a good job. Let's say I know someone here. Okay, you know someone here. I'm glad you know someone here. I think we're going to use part 2 as a way to integrate the X. I wish. Rewrite reality such destroy. Nathan Norman, I wish. Thank you for the thumbs up. I wish that happens, but I don't know if chronologically it works. And they could be trying to trick us again, but they did say that they're holding off on the title of Infinity Wars 2, Part 2, because Jenna is watching from Liz joins. They were holding off on Part 2 because they didn't want the title to reveal something spoilery, but now there were rumors saying that they thought that it would steal the focus away from Part 1. If that's the case, I don't know why they didn't just name it Part 1 and 2. They wanted 1 to stand alone, and I get it to a certain degree, but I don't know if they're putting it. But let's finally go into like the ending of what I think is going to happen and why they've been holding off on Part 2. So we saw Thanos' different motivation this time. Instead of trying to court death, as was teased and from the comic books, he was really just trying to eliminate half of the universe, therefore making half, giving more the other half room to thrive. It was really a commentary on overpopulation. So here's the thing. So that's new motivation, and okay, that's good. Hey, Terrell, what up? Welcome to the live stream, talking about the Avengers movie with spoilers. And after this, we're probably going to be talking about the Greatest Royal Rumble. Let's be real here. That's probably what's going to happen. Unless you guys want me to keep it copacetic and just go back to the wrestling channel, just to do exactly what we're doing now. But I figured to stay here. Anyway, so going back to the ending. So we saw half of the planet destroyed. We saw half of the people people disappear. Now, we saw some key players go away, like Spider-Man disappeared. The Guardians. People we know have sequels coming down the pipeline. Black Panther. So we know they vaporize and Bucky, who has 9 pictures or whatever he has signed to. So we saw some key components go away, and that's the thing. Because we saw these key players leave, or people we know have, Drax, whoever, we saw these characters disappear. It seems safe to say that they're not dead, because there's no way Black Panther, Spider-Man, or the Guardians of the Galaxy are disappearing. Like, that's just not going to happen. They are not going away. These characters are sticking around. They have other movies coming down. So my thinking is they are not dead. They're just in a different parallel universe. And what I think is going to happen is Thanos wants to see who's going to survive. So the two different universes, the two halves, are going to compete against each other one-on-one, or universe to universe, and whoever wins is still going to be the survivor. And then the next movie is going to be Avengers Secret Wars, and it's just going to be the Secret Wars contest, where that's what I think is going to happen. Black Panther versus Spider-Man, possibility. Did all of them go to Wakanda, or did he come there? Both? No, a lot of people showed up to Wakanda. Don't even joke about Panther. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nathan. Yeah, so I don't think they're really dead. I think they just went to a parallel universe, and I think we're going to see Secret Wars is going to be the title of the next movie. So it's Avengers Secret Wars, and then we're going to see them go against each other. Half the universes, the two different split universes. And some of the shots that leaked footage that we've seen, or leaked shots we've seen, were characters that were in their old garb, like they very much look like the Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie. So we've seen that. I kind of think that might be one of the battlegrounds. Like, they might be doing those things, like when you're squaring them off different locations, it's going to be on the set. It's going to be on that. And I think, did all of them go? Okay, Bautista, yeah. And I also think that it's pretty coincidental that for the most part, the OG Avengers like Thor, Iron Man, Captain America stayed on the planet. Now, yeah, fine, Nick Fury left, but it was kind of interesting how certain Avengers who are contractually possibly obligated to be leaving soon are on one planet. So but meanwhile, all the new up and coming guys like Doctor Strange, Bucky, and Spider-Man are all on the different planets. So that makes me wonder if that has something to do with it. That would mean bringing in the Beyonder, and I don't think they'll do. I hear you, but I don't think they'll do that. I think what they'll do is just Thanos is pitting the two against each other just to see it. I think they'll do Secret Wars, but without the Beyonder. I think they're just going to do a version of it where Thanos is just pitting the universe against itself, half and half. Whoever wins, the Joker thing, we're going to have tryouts, that kind of thing. And I think that's how they're going to set up Secret Wars. And it'll just be their version of Secret Wars. I don't think it'll be the real Secret Wars. Yes, I would like it too, that if they extended a little longer, that way they could do, X-Men and stuff like that, and get Doctor Doom in there. I think that would be awesome. But I think this movie will have nothing to do with the Fox deal. I think they're keeping those two things separate. Whatever happens with the Fox deal will be happening down the line. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it has anything to do with Avengers Part 2. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a nice surprise, but I just don't think it will. And that was the other thing. Other than the Deadpool thing, there really were, and, the Nick Fury thing, there really weren't no big secret reveals or anything like that. There was no big surprises, I think. Can we get a good Doom for once? I would like one, yes. That would be nice. My pick, though, is not an option at this point, because I really, really wanted Alan Rickman to play Dr. Doom, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Moving on. Moving on to the further part of the ending, the after credit scene, where we got that nod towards Carol Danvers. Nice, but I didn't need it. See Nick Fury again and Maria Hill. Okay, great. But I wish it was something to develop the story, and I know they couldn't because they stopped. They stopped immediately. Like, they had that weird trippy ending where Thanos was in some other plane of existence with a baby Gamora or a little girl Gamora, which also gives me the idea that there's a chance that that's how they'll get Gamora to be alive. He's out of his I think Thanos is out of his body. doing that, just like the comic book. I think he's, in that astral state or whatever where he's becoming one with the universe. I think that's what he's doing. So I don't know if that's going to be, and I don't know if Nebula is going to play a role in it, which is possible. But I thought the ending abruptly, because I said they kind of like Tony Soprano'd Thanos, where you got the big dude, and then it just ends. Now I didn't know they were going to have that weird otherworldly image of him and little girl Gamora talking. I thought, if anything, that could have been an end credit scene, and like I think they needed to put it where they did, but I know some fans would have lost their minds. But I kind of thought there was a chance it was going to end with the snap, where he was just going to raise his hand, and because Thor put Stormbreaker right in Thanos' chest. I thought Thanos was, and he says you should have aimed for the head. I thought Thanos was going to say you should have aimed for the arm, like cut his arm off with the Infinity Gauntlet. But I thought it was just going to reach up and then snap, and then the screen was just going to go blank, and that was it. Like, they did the abrupt ending, but yeah, I kind of noted it was a Sopranos thing, kind of. Yeah, I'm not a big Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers fan. Like, I understand she has a point, but after the whole awful thing that happened to her that you can't take back, with I think you guys know what I'm talking about. That awful thing that happened with her. That just stupid writing. It was just. It was just such an, there's no turning back from that. You really can't. He'll get Catherine Britton. Seriously, Nathan Norman, why can't we get Catherine Britton? Although I think since he might be a mutant, I think he might be X-Men property. I'm not sure, but that might be why he's not around yet. But yeah, so that was my thing. After that thing with Carol Danvers, there's really I can't, you just can't, you can't undo it. You can't unring that bell. For me, it's the same thing with Hank Pym. Even though movie universe Hank Pym don't have this problem, Hank Pym is a wife beater, and there's no, going back from that. I just, I can't undo that. It's just not going to happen. Hank Pym is, they did undo it, or try several times to justify it, or whatever, or explain it, or say, hey, whatever. Nope, doesn't matter, he still did it. Don't care. It's just, I could never, and I'm not, and I know they're fictional characters. I know they're not real, but I'm just saying, I can't think, you can't, I read this one article where somebody said the thing about Hank Pym, the reason why you can't ever get rid of it or undo it, where other characters may be moving on, there was one story where Spider-Man, revealed that he was molested as a child, but people just don't talk about that and move on. And Hank Pym doesn't, is because, Captain Byrne got his powers from Merlin. Yeah, but recently they've kind of, I think maybe an Ultimate, but his connection with Psylocke, who's a mutant, that's kind of the thing. But, the newer stuff, they've kind of, because they changed Psylocke a lot, Nathan Norman, so I'm just saying, yeah, but, if you don't want to talk about it, but either way, I think that, I'm not sure if he is a property of Fox. I'm just guessing, because of his connection with Psylocke. Is my thing, but but maybe he's not. So that was a guess. Don't think that I'm saying that's fact. Anyway, so that was the thing. But Spider-Man has done a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of reason to forget about that, glaze over it. But Hank Pym hasn't done anything. It's like when you think of Hank Pym, for people who read comics, it's like, oh, he's that guy who hit his wife, and that's really all you got from him, because it's like he's really not. Yeah, he created Ultron and hit his wife. It's like, what else did he do? One guy I want to see in the Avengers is Leon from... Okay, interesting choice. All right. I know what you meant. Okay, so that was a big surprise there, him disappearing the way he did. So everybody disappearing, and I think it might lead to Secret Wars. His sister was Ionic Mutant who took over Solid's spot. Yeah. Japanese assassin, if I stand corrected. But I'm just saying, does them being related have to do with that? But yeah, no, I mean, I get you. No, yeah, I hear you. But does that make him X-Men property, is all I'm saying? I'm just wondering. I'm not, because I'm trying to think of another character that's not an X-Man, but is related to somebody involved in X-Men, because I think there is someone else. And I think they fall into that weird realm. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So that's where I think the ending is going. But I really liked the movie. I couldn't believe how good it was. I really liked. It was action packed. It was just a sum up of everything. No, he would be his own, like a British Superman. I like the idea of a British Superman, even though isn't Henry Cavill a British Superman? It doesn't matter. It should not make him X-Men. It should not. It's just the laws are so weird, or the legality stuff is so complicated with it. So I'm not sure, how it goes one way or the other. That's the thing. Like, who knew? Like, because there are a couple where like they didn't have the rights to Ego. Why? It was like, but you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have the rights to Ego. They had to make a deal with Fox to get Ego over, and it's like who knows? But the closest thing to being an X-Men is Juggernaut, who was on the team. Yes. Okay. So, any other questions? Or anything else? Did you guys see Infinity Wars? Did you guys take it out? Looks like Roman's over. Did any of you guys see Infinity Wars, or are you just not caring and just here for the live chat, live stream? Because just curious to know. Oh, and I gotta say, Spider-Man was like, man, they're really nuking that kid for all it's worth. Because Tom Holland doing a great job of playing that sympathy card where you feel bad for him because he's a kid and all that. They really know what they're doing in there. You ever see a Knight and a Squire movie? I don't think so. Brock is still champ. Yeah, he is. Okay, so that's all right. I think that's going to wrap up the Avengers talk. Unless you guys have any more questions or anything else you want to talk about, we'll totally get into it. I really like the New York scene, by the way. It was just getting ripped off with the superhero genre. Yeah, seriously. Especially since, like, not Americans are doing a really good job of playing them. Like Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Tom Holland, Tom Hiddleston, Tom Hardy, some other time somewhere. Let me think. Or any of the... No. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is not British, but, Chris Hemsworth, he's Australian, but yeah. Who's best? Jack Nicholson. Mark Hamill. I'm sorry. Incorrect. Correct answer is Mark Hamill. Best Joker. Mark Hamill. Correct answer. Mark Hamill. All those guys, it's like so many people. I know Professor X isn't necessarily... Oh, yeah. Professor X isn't necessarily from the UK, but you know what? He works better if he is. In the comic books, he's from New York. But you know what? Hey, maybe Professor X should be from the UK. Would you class Bond as a superhero? No. I like James Bond a lot, but no, I wouldn't. Jack is the best. That's fine. If I have to pick a live action guy, I pick Jack. And Legion too. That dude's British. What, I think that's really the key. Like, find British or Australian actors and have them play American superheroes for some reason. But that's the thing. When we get to Captain Britain, we should just find an American guy. It should be like Matthew McConaughey. I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I don't mean that. Okay, so let's move on. So Greatest Royal Rumble for you guys here. Thank you for being on the live chat, and thank you for the thumbs up. But for you guys here, okay, Greatest Royal Rumble. Let's briefly talk about it. Braun Strowman, I was right about that. The Roman Reigns ending with Brock, that was surprising. I think they totally goofed because Brock's feet definitely did not hit first. It just makes me think we're going to see this match again at some point in time. We're going to see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again. I would like this to be done deal over and but Brock needs to lose that strap. I don't know when he will. At this point, I really don't. AJ Nakamura was better than their WrestleMania match, I thought. I thought they improved. Still not as good as their Wrestle Kingdom match, but what are you going to do? The ending was interesting. AJ did win. I thought it was going to be a little more climactic than that. It was a surprise ending on that one. Let's go down. Seth Rollins retained. The ladder match felt a little short. I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit longer, to be honest. We got Pyro back. Yeah, $200 million is going to afford you some Pyro. Also, the United States title match went the way it did. Awesome. I thought that was the way it was going to... I was hoping Jeff Hardy won it, but like I said, I could have seen Jinder win it. It was a possibility, but I'm glad to see he didn't. No titles changed hands, which I thought was pretty interesting. Bray and Matt, of course, won. Bludgeon Brothers, of course, won. Well, am I missing anything? All in all, I thought the pay-per-view was, oh yeah, and the Rusev match with the Undertaker, I thought was pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of liked it. I thought it was a solid pay-per-view. I kind of think it was better than Mania. I'm not gonna lie. This was more along the lines of what I got it, because if you look at this as a glorified network exclusive or a glorified in your house, it really works, and it was delivered. You know, it was a nice, fun show. The Rumble itself, though, I thought was too long. Like, the 50-man sounded great, and, 50-man Royal Rumble sounded like a great idea, and it was going on for a period of time, but you could tell the crowd was into it, was not into it, or they were kind of gassed out, because counting down, it was at the end of the show, and the countdowns, by, like, after 30, they just didn't even count down as much, They didn't perk up again until a little bit later on, so it was kind of rough. If a Raw superstar wins the U.S. title, does the IC title go to SmackDown? I don't think automatically. I think they would work out a deal or something. But yeah, so that was kind of I think it was kind of gassed out. And I got to admit, 50 was a little much, because I was kind of getting bored after 30. Like the 40-man, they did it once, and it was fine for that one time. And this is, I guess, fine for one time only, but I don't think they could ever... I don't think they should make this a regular basis, especially seeing the fact that a lot of the guys in there were NXT guys that but didn't deserve to be NXT call-ups. Like Roderick Strong, fine. It's cool that he was in it. But a lot of them were just guys that didn't belong on there. It was like, why are you guys here? So, like, you guys, a lot of that kind of stuff. I swear it was 5 minutes after Braun came in, and the next. Yeah, it's, they kind of had the pacing was kind of off. So I wasn't a fan. So, like, it was good in theory, but I think lessons learned, way too many guys. Bobby Lashley, I didn't even notice when he got eliminated. I kind of missed that. But the show was still pretty good. I like it overall. The Royal Rumble was just too long and a little exhausting. And just the 50 is just way too much. It just doesn't work. The undercard was good. I thought it was solid. I thought they did right. I think John Cena and Triple H went a little longer than it should have, to be honest. Because the Universal title match, I thought for a Universal title match it should have went longer. But because it was those two, I didn't need it to go. So I'm glad it kind of shortened. Oh man, I forgot who Curtis Axel, but I do remember because I was watching here in the school, and some guy hasn't watched wrestling in a long time. I was saying, hey, that's Mr. Perfect's son. He goes, oh really? I remember Mr. Perfect. I'm like, yeah. And as soon as I said, he got eliminated. So I was like, all right, well that'll do it. Bobby or Braun. Yeah, well, yeah, Bobby didn't fare too well. He didn't do terrible, but still, it's just a sign of things to him. I have unfortunately gotten to the point where I don't think Bobby Roode is going to be doing very well because in the main roster. I want him to, but I think WWE is not going to treat him right, especially since he doesn't have much left in the tank. He's even admitted that, at his age, his career he can only go for so much longer. And with that being the case, maybe WWE just doesn't think he's worth the long-term investment. Which is depressing, sad, because they're showing it when he loses to Elias, doesn't do great in this greatest Royal Rumble. So, I totally agree. He needs to turn heel. And back to the Avengers thing. Yes, I would really love it if somehow they incorporated the symbiotes in. Symbiote, not symbiote. Just throwing that out there. When did Joe become the president of the Brock Lesnar fan? Good question. Killing it on the mic, though. Killing it on the mic. All right, guys. So I think that's going to wrap it up for me in this live stream. Thank you so much for being on here. Going to hopefully be back to normal schedule next week for the Wrestling Show live stream. But leave me your thoughts. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. And let me know down in the comments what you're looking forward to from this channel, where you can, what you want, where you like to see things go, what you want more of, that kind of thing. Let's help this channel grow, and let's keep the wrestling channel growing. And thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciated it. And check out Avengers Infinity War. Really, really like that. I really, really like the movie a lot. I'm probably going to see it again. And as always, Dave knows.